All right, and we are live. Thanks everyone for joining the Feature Friday show today with me, Salena Baca, and our guest, Susan of Felted Button. Season 1 is going to stream live here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. That is West Coast time, 1:30 p.m. East Coast time. So be sure to subscribe to this channel and you'll never miss an episode. Today's episode is proudly sponsored in part by a few places. One of them, or people, places, one of them is you amazing viewers. And that happens when you snag our Peace Love Crochet custom canvas tote bag today. Now, your purchase there is not only going to give you an amazing tote that you're totally going to love, it will also help to create more episodes and bring on even more amazing guests like Susan here today. So check for notes and details on that Peace Love Crochet tote in the show notes today. Today's episode is also sponsored by the American Crochet Association. The ACA has been helping crocheters learn and grow with educational courses and workshops since 2015. You can visit americancrochetassociation.org to receive your personal learning path to crochet mastery, including their newly launched professional certification program for crochet instructors and pattern writers. You guys don't want to miss that. You can find the link for more information in my show notes section today. So today we are filming season 1. This is still season 1. We just started. This is episode 3. And my special guest today is Susan of Felted Button. Now, Susan is here to share one of her most popular designs with us. And forgive me if I'm saying it incorrectly, the Sweven?
It's Sweven.
Sweven. I was going to say it wrong. The Sweven girl. Sorry, I'm illiterate.
No problem.
If you guys are watching live or on the replay, either one, come on over, please comment, say hello. Let Susan and I know where you're viewing from. Ask any questions about the pattern or the yarn that we're talking about today. This is going to be a fun one. So welcome to Feature Friday, Susan. It is such a pleasure to have you on the show today. How are you
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's so great to be here and so great to spend some time with you again.
I know we were chatting before the show and I don't think we caught up. I could have, caught up for like an hour. I know we were only chatting for like 15 minutes, but it's always so much fun to catch up with you and just see what you're doing and what you're up to. You're always just, I don't know where you get your inspiration from, but you are one of my absolute favorite people to follow.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure everyone here watching, so if you guys are watching, come on over, say hey, say hello, let us know where you're viewing from. I'm sure everyone agrees that you really, just the color and the application and the skill and the detail is just unlike anything else out there.
Well, I'm all about color. I'm sort of color obsessed. I call myself the color crazed lady because I have to have color kind of everywhere. It's all over my house. It's in my clothes. It's, well, in my life.
It is.
It makes me happy.
It does. Absolutely. Yeah. You just do it so well. Sometimes I'm kind of, I want to say intimidated by color. I don't know what to do with it. And so sometimes I just go really bland, like gray and cream and stuff. But you just, I don't know, you just have such a natural, like innate ability to just bring color together.
Well, it's funny you say that because even as a little kid, I used to sort my crayons by color. I used to, laying out clothes as a teenager, like working, I say working because it was so much focus.
Yes.
On the color and how I put things together.
Really?
And
this just isn't in, we see it in crochet. We see it in the things you create, but this really is just part of your life. This is your lifestyle. This
is the way. It's funny. I was thinking back. My high school bedroom was rainbows. Literally, I had rainbows on the bedding. My first wedding, I say first wedding, my bridesmaids were in different colored sashes that were a rainbow. I know it sounds so tacky, but that was a long time ago.
Rainbow is timeless. I think that, again, people like me were like, oh, no, let's just go with gray.
Right.
With one shade of green because, I feel very limited compared to you. I wish that I had that ability.
Well, and I tell people to just, if you're not super comfortable with color, you pick a couple, right? It's true. A lot of people are just gray is safe, neutrals are safe. And I say just pick one or two, put them together. If those sing to you, if those are colors that make you feel good.
Right.
And the other thing I suggest is when you're looking at things, then it catches your eye in a store, outside, a piece of tile, a piece of pottery, whatever it is. If you find it pretty, then look at the colors in it and go, those look pretty together. Just use hints from things that you find attractive.
I think that you need to give a color course because I feel like like you make it look so easy and so simple, but I look at it and it feels like this, rocket science or something. It doesn't speak to me in the same way that it speaks to you. I feel like I'm always searching for approval. Like, I don't know, do I like these colors? I'm not sure. Like, do you like these colors?
I understand that. I really do. Because I noticed that a lot of my followers, it's challenging for them. And so often that's why I
Uh-oh, you froze for a minute. So all I heard, and maybe everyone else heard it, but you said, my followers sometimes struggle with it, so often and then it cut off.
so that's why I spend a lot of time putting the colors together and make sure they're always included in my patterns so that people who feel color challenged, if you will, have an idea of where to start.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I love that you do that because so often I think that's my perception. That's what draws me to your work. Not just the colors you use, but obviously it's the application and the design and the skill. But, really when I'm looking at, like, for example, the throw we're going to look at today, I'm like, I want to do I want the exact same thing. So that's brilliant that, we get that kind of information from it.
Yeah,
I just want a carbon copy. Yeah.
Right. I try.
Awesome. All right, let's see who's here today. I see so many people are coming over and saying hello. Ramalaxi's here. She says hello. Sharon says hello from Florida. Hello, Marcel. Hello, Angela from Texas. And Terry says hello to both of us.
Awesome. Hello.
Okay. All right. So again, guys who are here live, going ahead and just put in any questions, comments that you have, and we'll go through. We'll have specific points where we'll go through and we'll kind of answer those, and that way we can make this a fun conversation. Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to say, again, you guys really want to keep those comments coming because if you are watching the show live, do keep those comments coming because at the end of this live show, I'm randomly going to choose 3 viewers and we're going to give them 1 free copy of the featured pattern today on Ravelry. So keep those comments coming. Every single comment counts as an entry. You cannot comment enough. But do make it a fun conversation too because that's what's important, making this a fun conversation. All right, so yeah, Terry says, I can tell Susan likes color by the rug on the floor.
Yes.
It really is your lifestyle. It is. All right. So before we get into the throw, and I can also share my screen to show everyone the throw, but it is important to note, I do want to tell everyone, please go to the show notes after the show, or even before, if you're watching on the replay, go to the show notes. You can click the links and pull these things up as we're talking about them. And you can find a direct link on the yarn that we're talking about today, so you can get more details, see where to buy it, really see the colors in person. And also I'm going to give you guys the Ravelry link in the show notes. I'm going to screen share. I'm going to show you guys the Afghan in a little bit, the throw in a little bit. But really, I want you guys to go and see it in person online. So definitely do that. Now, before we talk about the Sweven?
Sweven.
Before we talk about your amazing throw.
It rhymes with Sweden.
Sweet. Okay. All right.
Sweden.
I've already been saying it in my mind a certain way. So
yeah.
That's a good one, though. I like that. So before we talk about the pattern itself, let's talk a little bit about the yarn that you chose for this design. And you have a lot of interesting feedback about this yarn that I cannot wait to hear. So do you want to start by just kind of giving us some of the stats of this yarn and we can kind of go a little bit deeper based on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a fingering weight yarn. It's made by Shapies and it's called Our Tribe. And the reason it's called Our Tribe, this is what is so cool. A couple of years ago when I was in Holland, I was back there with my Shapies bloggers friends. And it was cool because they literally laid out on a table thousands and thousands and thousands of paint chips. And they said, you can choose up to 6 colors, any colors you want. You choose the order and sequence in which they're going to arise. You design your yarn. Like, who gets to do that, right? So seriously, so we were crying. We were so excited. We're digging through the paint chips. Some people took 10 minutes. Some people took hours to pull it together. But it was literally cutting and taping paint chips to a page. By the time I was done, I had these 6 just felted button colors. They just spoke felted button to me. And as a result, we got yarn.
Wow. Was that
our colorway?
Did you know that was happening when you went on that trip? Did you know that you were going to be really?
No, we had no idea. It was a complete surprise, and it was literally flooring. And it was so fun to watch the other 14 bloggers putting their yarn together.
Wow. So there's 15 in all.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so since that time, there have been a couple more, and with that, they've been able to select and choose their own colors. But it's been such a cool experience. And then the waiting, because the whole manufacturing and getting this out, it took, I can't remember how long, over a year probably. It took a long time, but we were just anxiously waiting to see what it looks like. Because all you've got are paint chips on a piece of paper, taped on this paper. You don't know what it's going to look like when it all comes together. But I'm seriously just tickled with it. It's so fun.
So did you get to choose how, like, a long repeat of color, a short repeat of color, if it's marled or like, did you get any of those options as well?
Well, what happens is basically they gave us a general idea of how the yarn would be constructed, that it would be a 70% merino superwash,
okay,
and 30% nylon. So it makes it's strong, but it's wool. It's a lovely sock yarn. Mm-hmm. But it works great for shawls and that sort of thing as well. So we had an idea what that would be like, that it would be just loosely plied. What ends up giving you that marled look depends upon the contrast of the sequence of colors. Oh. So if you're going from a purple to a yellow, there's a sharp contrast as those colors change. For me, mine were a little bit more subtle, so it looks more like where my yellow meets with my green, it's a yellow green, and where my pink meets with my blue, it's sort of purple. Wow. So I got it all. That's why I say we didn't know exactly how it would come out, but I'm absolutely tickled with it. It's beautiful yarn, and it was amazing to watch each personality of each of the bloggers, their yarn colors. You could tell it was theirs.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I imagine you especially could, because you understand color on that level.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So the yarn is 70% wool, 30% nylon. It is a light fingering weight. So it's in the weight 2 category.
Yep. Weight 2 category.
Okay. So you got to choose your color. I did a little bit of research on this. And tell me if I'm wrong. There are 32 colors in the R Tribe line.
Yes, and that's because they've added several new. There have been a couple bloggers that have actually designed a second yarn for very specific purposes, and then they also came out with solids.
Yes,
and these solids actually work in conjunction with the blogger yarns. So if you wanted to add a contrasting edging on a blanket or a garment or a sleeve, that kind of thing, they work together.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, the colors are gorgeous. They make me happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one skein is about 3.5 ounces, about 459 yards.
Yes.
Hefty. And
it is.
Do you know do you have any suggestions on where people can best find retail options for this yarn?
Yeah, I honestly, there are a number of online options. I think Wool Warehouse is brilliant. Daramore's is also an option. Love Knitting is also a fabulous option. If you really want to know where all of the locations are, you can go to the Shapes Crochet website, and they have a list of all of their stockists around the world. There are some U.S. stockists, which I think is a really good thing. There's a gal in Wisconsin, and it's called Stitch Naturally, and they also carry this yarn. So there are places to get it. You won't find it in your big box stores, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day. So what is the name of your color? Is it the felted button colorway?
It's felted button, number 9, I think 965. Anyway, I'm so excited.
All right, we're going to have to look for that specific one. I can't, I'm going to have to order some. I'll have to order some and maybe have you sign the skein label or something. I would love that.
I would totally do that for you.
I would love that. I would love, but then I would make something with it and just kind of keep that label forever. Like I'd, frame it on my wall.
It's awesome yarn. I love it. It's super, super soft. It passes the unicorn test.
Oh, you do the unicorn test.
Unicorn test.
Oh my God. Okay, so I do the neck test, and I've never heard, and that's what I call it.
This is better. The unicorn test is better.
Really?
Your forehead is more sensitive. This you're going to go, oh, feels soft, but this will be more sensitive.
No way. You've completely blown my mind here. I can't believe I'm going to be doing the unicorn test now.
Yeah.
The felted button test, I'll call it. That's what
right.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So we've got some comments here. Let's see what they're saying. Angela says, I love so many colors, but don't feel confident trying to combine them. I know we need Susan to teach us. She's the guru here, I think. And everyone loves your colorful rug in the background, the colorful bag in the background. They're just looking at all the color, and I think that they're inspired just checking it out. All right. Okay. So if anyone that is watching has ever heard of this yarn before or used it before or has any questions, go ahead and comment, and we'll come back to those in just a little bit. But I think we are now ready to dive into that throw and talk more about it. So as we're doing that, give me just 1 second. I'm going to have you go through some of the stats, some of the details. I'm going to share my screen so that everyone can see what it is that we're talking about, okay?
Okay.
So, all right, can everybody see? Can everybody see? Let me know.
I can see it.
Awesome. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we are looking at the throw. Of course, I'm looking at the Ravelry listing, which is also in the show notes. You guys can click on over there after the show and get all of the details. Now, okay, so we know about the yarn, and now it's time to talk about this design. Just tell us, maybe did the yarn give you inspiration for this, or why was this yarn used for this? Just dive in wherever you're comfortable to talk, and we can kind of go from there.
Awesome. You know me, I can talk.
Yes. I like
so
that.
This was the name Sweven. It's an archaic word that means dream or vision, and which the whole swirl thing sort of got me in that mode. But really the inspiration was my blogger friends and the yarn and their yarn colors. So I got one of each color. And now there are several more now available. There's a lovely green by Christina Hattering. There's some more colors available, but I took the ones that originally came out, the 15 colorways, and with them, I essentially designed the swirl. And the swirl is constructed super easy, working out in a spiral and then back in on free loops to the center of the spiral. And it kind of has some depth. Once I made all the swirls, then I had to arrange them. So I think there are 13 of each of the 15 colors. And then I had to arrange them. So I laid them out on my bed and skewered them in rows so that they're stored all arranged in the colors that I like. And I just put colors together that kind of talk to the one next to it. I went, oh, it's got little colors over there and little colors over there. And that's how I arranged them.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. So this is arranged by, you took one skein and you just made, say, 10 motifs, and then those were kind of grouped together. It wasn't constructed that way.
No, not constructed that way. In fact, each of the colorways I made 13 swirls from, or 13 motifs. Those motifs then went in a big, huge pile and got all jumbled together and then thrown on my bed. And then I started sorting,
Oh
putting colors together that I thought were beautiful.
I
But
blows my mind because it looks so they perfectly look suited together, and that's why I assume that
yeah,
it was maybe like, you know, if I'm picking this particular skein and these colors and this is what I'm doing. Gosh, you're brilliant.
well, it's just a matter of trusting the fact that there are enough hues of color between a brownish and a bluish that you can actually put them near each other and they look gorgeous and it looks planned.
Wow.
But it is indeed very random. And this is the part of the design that requires you to just trust your instincts and have fun with it. Don't get stressed about, well, does this one go here or does it go there? Just put it where it sings to you.
Wow.
So that's how I suggest to do it. And all those instructions are in the pattern. And then with one of the solid colors, I squared the swirl.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course joined them, but join as you go.
Oh, so fantastic. Okay.
Right. So you're doing it with your hook, and I have lots of pictures because join as you go can be intimidating to people who've never done it before.
That's true. It's one of those things that you could use all the words, but it just takes one picture.
Exactly. So I use lots of words and I use pictures. They're both included so that you can get through the joining process. And then I border it. And then at the very end, I add the little leaves. And the leaves, they look randomly placed, but they're not. And I provide a chart that shows you where you put your leaves.
Really?
Because sometimes things that we think are random are really not random, but they give the appearance of being random. So I figured I'd make it easier for people versus them having to try to figure out, well, where should I put this leaf? Oh. So they're scattered across the blanket. And the reason I added leaves is I'm a doodler. I'm a fidgeter.
Yes.
And when I was a kid, I don't draw so well. But I used to always, and I still do, doodle these flowers. You know where you draw the swirl and then you draw a little leaf on the outside?
Yes.
So it's my doodle come to life.
Oh my gosh. You are infinitely more brilliant than I am when it comes to color and my mind is so blown because this looks exquisitely random. And I guess it kind of is, but yes. The exquisitely part is the part that I don't quite understand. So well, I'm dramatically random or tragically random.
No, I try to encourage people to trust the process and it will come together and it will be lovely. Yes. I've seen lots of samples come forward and they're gorgeous. Absolutely. They're just gorgeous and what people can do. And I love to see how people see things differently and it comes out differently. I mean, it's one of the coolest things about being a designer is taking something that was in your head, you make it, they take the pattern for it and they make something entirely different, but equally as beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's thrilling to me. I absolutely love it.
You know, something that I think I love most about your patterns and about following your work is that it's a class in that direction, so to speak. You know, so for someone like me who's maybe hindered or intimidated by a color or application, you know, this is almost kind of like a master class in this. You know, let's do this together so that maybe you can understand my methods or maybe take some bolder steps in other patterns that you might try or in other kinds of color application.
Yeah. And if you're wanting to make this blanket, say, in fewer colors because you are a little intimidated, that's doable too. Right. You get 2, 3, even 4 if you're daring different colors that maybe look pretty to you together. And even if they seem disparate and don't go together, you can make this work. I mean, it's amazing to me how you can create a flow. I had 15 balls of random color.
Wow.
And you can make them work. That's what's so brilliant about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So you used a weight 2 merino wool and fantastic colors for this, which I guess I just wanted to point out to our audience who maybe when they make Afghans, they use larger weights of yarn, or maybe they've never used merino. I think that these characteristics in this yarn is brilliant for this particular piece, because I think the smaller weights of yarn, they really, I always say this, and I really want a better phrase, but they give you more bang for your buck. Like you're going to get more, you're going to get more of a design element because it's, you know, it's a smaller piece. It's smaller pieces that you're putting together. But then also, and I stopped on this image right here that everyone can see, because you're really getting that cascading effect. You know, larger weights of yarn aren't going to necessarily give you this cascading effect, give you this kind of like this beautifully like fluid kind of fabric. So this is like heirloom quality. This is something that, you know, you make, and it's just something that is going to last through the generations because of the quality of the yarn, the characteristics of the yarn, and just simply how beautiful it is.
Exactly. I would use the word heirloom because it's an investment in time,
Yes.
and it's an investment in yarn. But it really is a timeless piece. This is the kind of piece you pass down from generation to generation. It's not the casual acrylic throw you use on the sofa and cover your kids with and your dog lays on. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Exactly.
Yeah. It was designed because it had such meaning to me that I was incorporating a bit of my colorway myself into it, as well as these dear friends of mine. I wanted it to be an heirloom piece that you could. In fact, I had a dear friend whose mother just passed away, and I gifted the blanket to her so that just, you know, as a memory of her mother, and
Oh,
as
that's beautiful.
a comfort item for her.
Yes.
So it's more than just a blanket to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's all of those, it's literally the details of it's literally the details in every stitch. It's the colors and the application, and um it leaves me a little speechless, honestly, especially after, you know, you shared, you know, your reasons for putting it together. It's such a beautiful story.
Thank you. Another note about it too, which this is one of the things that when I'm working borders, I I really need borders to lay flat. If they need blocking, I frog them, and I don't design borders that don't lie flat. And this one, without blocking, without any assistance, like this blanket that you're seeing, has not been blocked.
I'm so glad you said that, because
So,
I would not have mentioned that fact. And I'm sure some people look at things like this and they feel a mild intimidation. So I just wanted to, for anybody who maybe looks at this and has mild intimidation, I just wanted to note a few things. One, I think, Susan, you said it's join as you go.
yes.
Which is brilliant. If you've never tried Join As You Go, Susan says that she has descriptions and images to go in this pattern to really help you get a comfortable feel for that. So not only could this be skill building, but Join As You Go literally means that you're not going to have all of these squares and then join them when you're done, which, you know, if that's your thing, you can totally do that too. It just gives you another option.
Yes.
Yeah, but then also, I love that you said that about the border, because I'm sure that some people are thinking, oh no, I'd have to block every square. Oh no, I'd have to block this when I'm done. But your designs are made to where it will do what it's supposed to do.
Hopefully.
You've got the math correct. I know that it's about the math, and you understand the math to where it doesn't require that to be finished.
That being said, though, many of my testers didn't have access to this yarn and were unable to make their sample in this yarn, and so they were trying a variety of other yarns. And I got some really stunning samples in cotton and other. So it does work. You make it a slightly different, say, drape to your product, but you'll still get you still can get a beautiful piece.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you guys want to see other projects that are posted, I see that there are 4 posted on Ravelry right now. This pattern has an excellent rating. So you can definitely go and check those out for maybe different colors, different applications, different types of yarn. And alternatively, I didn't show this before, but here is that yarn. You can also find that link on Ravelry. It shows, I think, the most recent colors, so you can see them all. And let me look. Here's the felted button, 965. Here it is.
That's me.
There you are.
Yeah, but there's beautiful. They're beautiful colors.
Oh
They've just got like 977. A spoonful of yarn was not available. It didn't come out till later. So that would be one that would be gorgeous in this blanket.
Wow. I don't think you can go wrong. I think that's what's so beautiful about these. They're just so well done. They look like you guys all got together and conspired to come up with this particular palette. Like,
isn't that cool that just the personalities of each blogger shows in their yarn, and the yarn as a collection looks so gorgeous together. I'm tickled and thrilled to be part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, just some finer notes on that particular pattern. It is, let me know if I'm incorrect, but the details I found that this makes a throw size about 66 inches by 73.
That's big.
Because of the motifs, I'm sure that you could make it larger or smaller as you like. For anyone who looked at that and felt intimidated, you know, basic stitches, the construction is laid out in the way Susan writes her patterns. And she is, you know, that whenever you're buying patterns from an individual, you can always reach out to them if you have questions or need support. And Susan is brilliant when it comes to customer service.
Thank you. I'm happy to help.
Yes, absolutely. So definitely give that a try. Susan has done all the hard work for you so that you don't have to be intimidated. You can just dive in, do a little bit of skill building, and create something that is stunning. All right, let's see what kind of questions you guys have here. Marcel says it's beautiful. Angela says creative people are so inspiring. Absolutely. Absolutely. Susan she's definitely one of my favorites. Definitely. Always very inspired, always out of the box. It's always something that I feel like I haven't seen, you know, or that I'm seeing for the first time. Trendsetter, trailblazer. That's you, lady. Nora says this is a beautiful throw. Terry says, great, join as you go. She's excited about that. Sharon says this would also make a beautiful wedding gift. Oh, that's
yeah. That is in the bride's favorite colors.
Yes. Yes. That gave me chill bumps a little bit. I love that idea. Terry loves the idea that there is no blocking. Yes, Susan's done the hard work for you. She's done all the hard work. And Angela says, please give us links to all of this. Yes, ma'am. For anybody just joining us, all episodes of Feature Friday include links to the yarn that we talk about, the pattern we talk about, and all of our sponsors. You guys can get those in the show notes. And with that, I think it is time to pick some winners. So I'm going to pick 3 winners, and you guys will just email me to claim your pattern. Keep those comments coming. This is your last chance for your comments to count for the giveaway. So, hey, hello, oh my gosh, I'm excited. Anything like that totally counts. I'm going to update the show notes with the names of the winners, and the winners just have to send me an email at salena.baca@gmail, and you can find my email in the show notes section as well. All right, so keep those comments coming. The first winner is going to be Ramalaxi. Ramalaxi, you are winner number 1. All you have to do is send me an email to claim that pattern, and we will get that taken care of for you. Ramalaxi, winner number 1. Yay! Okay, guys, keep those comments coming. Winner number 2 is Nora. Nora Kuna, you are winner number 2. And all you have to do is send me an email, and I will give you further instructions to claim that prize. All right, winner number 3. Again, we're going to be choosing from the comments on the live show, so keep those comments coming. And winner number 3 is Terri Sampson. All right, I'm just updating my show notes. Okay, so the 3 winners are Ramalaxi, Nora Kuna and Terri Sampson. Those are our 3 winners. Of course, only those who are here on the live commenting are eligible to win. And we're giving away a free copy of the Sweven Throw by the wonderful Susan of Felted Buttons. So that is an exciting prize. And again, all you guys have to do, if I named you as a winner, you just have to send me an email to claim that prize, and I'll give you further instructions. All right, Susan, thank you so much for joining us today on Feature Friday. Now, tell us, where would you like people to continue to follow you to see what you're up to and what you're currently doing?
I just lost Jeff.
Oh, I just lost you too. Okay, so I said,
sorry
about that. I was just saying thank you again for joining us today on Feature Friday. Now, where can people best go to continue to follow you? Do you have a favorite maybe social platform or place?
Well, my favorite is, I'm Felted Button everywhere. So wherever you look, that's Felted Button is where you'll find me. I'm Felted Button on Instagram. And that's a great place to just get little sneak peeks of what I'm working on, hear about patterns, talk yarny stuff. I also have a Felted Button crochet community on Facebook, where I've been running some cows and just chatting with my peeps.
Oh, so, I love that. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, guys, definitely check that out. She is Felted Button anywhere where you enjoy following and being part of a community. But on Facebook, in your group, you said that's where crochet alongs happen?
Yep.
Don't miss that. That's going to be fantastic.
Awesome.
All right. All right, everyone. Well, that concludes today's episode of the Feature Friday show. Please subscribe to this channel to get a notification every time we go live, and you won't miss it. I want to give one more shout out to our sponsors. Again, these episodes are sponsored in part by you. Please check our show notes to learn more about our sponsors and to pick up your Peace Love Crochet Canvas tote bag today. Remember, when you snag one of our totes, you'll help to create more great content, more episodes, and bring on even more amazing guests. Also, the American Crochet Association wants to remind you that you can get a personal learning path to Crochet Mastery when you join today. So be sure to ask them about their professional certification programs for crochet instruction and pattern writing. All right, everyone. Thanks to everybody watching, and thanks again to Susan for joining us today and chatting with us on Feature Friday. That's all we have. We'll see you next time.